Hey guys, RCT3 Imagineer here for another round of Lights On, the no thrills, no frills behind the scenes look at my projects. Today I'm going to take you on a special tour of what ended up being my most popular ride, the Old Mill. Even though this video has countless views today, I still consider it to be one of my earlier works and thus still a little rough, just a heads up. So some background info on this ride. Growing up in the Pittsburgh Metro, I frequented Kennywood Park during my childhood, so this ride is actually a tribute to the ride bearing the exact same name at Kennywood Park. So without any further ado, I present the Old Mill Lights On. Warning, this tour is complete with tight, almost head-chopping spaces, water hazards, and being burnt to a crisp. I originally thought it would be cool to start the ride off with a mine shaft lift hill that showcased all of these neat danger and warning signs. The ride features more or less the same custom scenery: Shy Guy's rock set, Fisherman's Ghost mindset, Desmatsa's Industry Age, Vodin's covered bridge, NF's particle effects, DRP lights, and some others that I just don't remember. So if you see something that I have not mentioned, feel free to comment below. I originally had planned to use a water coaster for this, but the Eurofighter by Desmatsa seemed like a much better type of ride to use for this kind of storyline. It was more flexible in the track, and it had a mine theme. However, it does make the water section seem completely out of place, but I hope you'll agree it's still a cool concept. Regardless, here's the lesson of the day. Always make sure that you try to make your rides have as much sense as possible. Meaning if you're going to make a water ride, commit to that concept. Or if you're going to make a mine ride, stick with that idea instead. Otherwise, you'll have somewhat of a mismatched ride that doesn't quite make a whole lot of sense visually. Most of the scenes in this ride seemed like brilliant ideas in my mind, but they turned out really freaking creepy. In this climactic section here, I remember showing this to a friend once after I had finished the whole project, and the reaction was, "Wow, you're one messed up human being." And that's not really a far off statement, but regardless, the scene does have some neat features to show off. I wanted to have the effect of you being watched from all points in the room, and as you can see, there's a lot of ghouls, some eyes on the wall, but it's also really important to notice the floor details. Most of the time, the floor gets overlooked in these type of dark rides, but I wanted to build a lot of tension, so using a floor type in the Fisherman's Ghost mindset, I was able to create a room below to add tension to the scene. And here it is. In addition to even more ghouls, which I forgot to mention are also from Fisherman's Ghost mindset, you can see a prime placement for the DRP lights to help add some kind of color ambiance. And now for the on-ride view. Explosions! Because every ghost ride needs explosions. This cave portion here features Shy Guy's rock set, as well as NF's particle set for the waterfall. And now we're into the underground forest, where you can really see all the different sets that I used in this ride. The trees are actually a combination of a custom scenery tree combined with RCT3 Mike's vine sets. And I have to say the combination of these two made for a perfect underground mine forest. Now into the boiler room, which is basically just one big splash zone. But honestly, if you didn't get drenched by this point in the ride, you should be asking for your money back. It features the Industry Age custom scenery set, NF particles, and multiple ghouls to help make this wet zone really uncomfortable. And now we're outside. The outdoor sections of this ride are really unique because they are the only true outdoor sections I have in my rides. Everything else that follows creates this outdoor atmosphere using custom scenery without actually having to take the ride outside. And now we have this covered bridge section to take us back inside the mine for the final scenes. Believe it or not, there's actually a villain in this ride, and he's featured here in this pivotal scene, the Foreman. This last section is based on the log flume at Busch Gardens Williamsburg with a twist. In this last big scene, the Foreman is trying to kill you off so that he can add you to his horde of ghouls. The two big ride events are the logs falling, which then lead up to the saw before the big drop, which takes you outside again. After what seems like a final escape, the evil spirits of the mine possess your cart and drag you back into the depths of the mine for the final showdown. This last scene is not recommended for those who have a fear of ghosts, tight spaces, fire, and water, because it's all in this last scene. When making this, I thought it was a great way to end the ride, and in the video, it looks super cool. But in terms of realism, it's extremely uncomfortable. Not only is it super tight, but you get burnt to a crisp, and then doused in a waterfall. Not exactly the best way to run an amusement park. So, just something to think about when you're making your own rides. Creativity is great, but realism is good too. Regardless, if you ended up surviving that horrific final showdown, your cart safely takes you out of the mine and you go on your merry way. And that's all I have to say for this episode of Lights On. If you have any questions or would like me to elaborate on a building technique in another video, comment below and keep subscribed for more videos. RCT3 Imagineer, signing off.